Hello everyone, my name is Crystal and this channel is Vintage Booth Pro. This channel is all about your vintage booth and helping you increase your booth sales. Today I want to talk about items that have sold for over $50 in vintage booths around the United States. So I have a private Facebook group called Vintage Booth Pro that is free and everyone is welcome to join. And I asked a question, so for the month of May, what did you sell over $50 in your booth? So I received over 20 responses, and just looking back through my numbers, I had four sales over $50, and those really help pump up your numbers. So if you can find any of these items, grab them. And if you are not in my group already, jump over to my group. And so for next month, you can tell us what has sold in your booth over $50, and I can feature you on a video. And I'm also going to include in the description below their Facebook page or Instagram, whatever the case may be, whatever social media they have, so we can support fellow vintage booth owners by liking their page and commenting and liking any posts that you may see. We've been doing this in the group as well and just sharing our Facebook pages, and it's so nice that my Facebook feed is all about vintage booths, so it's kind of fun and a nice break from reality, so just to see everybody's vintage booths. So anyways, I have over 20. Some are mine because I just wanted to throw it in and have an even number. But if you are a vintage booth owner, before I get started, please like and subscribe to my channel. We have grown outrageously fast and it's so much fun, and I just want to make sure that other vintage booth owners can see this channel, and hopefully we can all help each other grow, which is my overall goal, just helping the vintage booth community and help increase our sales. So I'm really just going to read what the booth owner posted on Facebook just to make it a little bit easier, but I'm going to tell you where they are located and the store that they are in. And I'm also going to type this out on my blog, which is vintageboothpro.com, so you can take a better, closer look at the pictures if you would like to see that. Okay, first up, we have Norman, Oklahoma in Antique Paradise, and her booth is called New Life Homestead. She sold an antique coffee grinder. This blue and white antique coffee grinder sold for $50. I purchased in a box of assorted items from an Amish auction for $5 for the box. $5. Can you believe that? And just one item out of the box sold for $50. This is super cool. I'd really love to see what else came in that box. Next up is Franklin, North Carolina at Bryant's Antique Mall. I call this a doll in box art. So it sold for $95. The booth owner slash artist sold the doll, or sourced the doll for $15. She made the blocks and the box was free. Moth picture on the back of the box was $2. Found the doll at a vendor's booth in her mall, and it sold at Bryant's Antique Mall in Franklin, North Carolina. So very unique piece of art and pretty cool sale. So that's a great profit margin there. Next up is Braselton, Georgia at Tam Antiques, this brass drink dispenser. I have never seen one like this. This is amazing. I bought a large brass lot at auction for $30. I sold the brass drink dispenser for $75. And this is at Tam Antiques booth at a Fleet Antique in Braselton, Georgia. And she is on Instagram and Facebook as Tam Antiques. So next up in Lakeland, Florida at Lakeland Antique Mall. And the booth owner is Vintage Meets Mod, which is space 275 if you're there looking for it. Okay, she has two. This Volkswagen Bug Deck lid. She bought the VW Bug Deck lid for $40 off of Facebook Marketplace. She added a license plate. We typically source those for under $5. And this, I should also call this a piece of art because this is super unique. Sold for $175. Really cool, and I bet someone is just loving having that in their home. Okay, the second item that they sold is this piece of art called Spring by Tamara de Limpica. Sold for $106.25 at Lakeland Antique Mall, which is space 275 in Lakeland, Florida. Purchased for $8 at a local thrift store. And again, her social media is Vintage Meets Mod. So her Facebook page is amazing, and I always almost mess up because we have a Lakewood Antique Mall near me, so I have to really concentrate. Lakeland Antique Mall. Just want to get that straight. Okay, next up is Marietta, Ohio at Smith & Company Vintage. This Fenton Rooster, look how amazing. Okay, sold May 2023, Fit and Folk Art, hand-painted rooster, $159.99 from Aunt's Estate, so no cost to me, at Smith & Company Vintage, Marietta, Ohio. So, you know, it just happens. You receive items that you just don't want to keep. And if you can make a profit off of them, more power to you. And I truly believe that the person that passed it to you, that may have passed, is happy that, you know, it's not just sitting around not being loved by you, that you are able to take that money and get something you really love. Just a side note for me there. Okay, next up in Pittsboro, North Carolina, Reclamation Home Furnishings. This beautiful table. Okay, this is an interesting story. I don't have a ton of details, but she traded for a vase, and it sold for $125. So I don't know, was the vase free that she had? Maybe it was just something that she had in her booth for a while and traded another vintage booth owner or something. I'm just making up stories. But anyways, this table sold for $125. That's a nice little boost to your monthly revenue there. And that again is Reclamation Home Furnishings, and her page is on Facebook. Next up in Pineville, Louisiana, at Treasure Chest Tioga. That's kind of a cool name. This antique high chair. Look at this. This is so unique. This antique high chair bought at auction for $20, sold for $80 at Treasure Chest Tioga in Pineville, Louisiana. And her Facebook page is Strong Roots Homemade. So I will link her in the comments below. Next up is Lewisburg, Pennsylvania at Street of Shops. This quilt. Okay. Would you have known to pick this up? It was purchased at an auction for $35 and it sold for $85 at Street of Shops in Lewisburg, PA. So I passed right by quilts. I am so guilty of that. And you really have to have a good eye for knowing which types of quilt sells. So kudos to you. That's an awesome sell. Okay. Port Richey, Florida, Junk Company. If you're not following Junk Company, they have the coolest stuff, and I really just want to make a trip to go see their store in Port Richey. Okay, first one up is this antique chestnut chimney cupboard. Bought it in an auction in Florida for $100 and sold it for $549 at Junk Company, Port Richey, Florida. And that is just, you really have to have an eye and have to be willing to list something for that high and have the knowledge that your market would be willing to purchase something for that price. So that's an awesome sell. Okay, next up is this antique pew. Bought two from a lady off Facebook Marketplace, paid $100 for the pair. Sold one immediately for $400. Have one left that will more likely be going out this weekend for the same price. I actually tried to give her $200 for them, but she refused to take any more. Bought in Clearwater, Florida, sold at Junk Company in Port Richey, Florida. So there's something about Florida. You know, people go there to retire and, to live out their retirement, and they have been collecting beautiful handmade, very well-made items all their life. And I've always heard that you'll be able to find a lot of things in Florida, so maybe I should take a junking trip down there. But that's pretty amazing, especially since the booth owner did try to give her more money for it, but she was happy with the profit, and I would be happy with a $400 sale as well. Okay, next up in Bay Cliff, Texas at Yaga's Corner, which I love the name of that store. This side table bought for $15, sanded it and painted it, sold for $65 at Yaga's Corner. So that's the question, you know, does painted furniture still sell? Absolutely it does. I have sold painted furniture. I don't like painting furniture, but I still do. It's one of those things, I like it when I get into it, but at the thought of it, I just don't enjoy thinking about it that much. But once I'm into it, I'm just like, I love painting. I'm never going to stop. But sometimes you really have to know the colors that work. I always recommend black and white for quick sales. And but you have to know your market. And that is a beautiful color. So beautiful piece. Congratulations on that sale. Next up in Tallahassee, Florida at Rabbit Creek Market, these stunning velvet blue chairs. Okay. Take a look at these. Bought 2 of these velvet blue chairs with gold tassels for $75 each at City Walk Urban Mission Thrift Store. I sold them for $150 each at Rabbit Creek Market in Tallahassee, Florida. So double your money. They're beautiful chairs. I would love to have those in my home. Just stunning. Next up, we have McMinnville, Oregon at McMinnville Antiques Mall at the Tattered Antique booth. Okay, this MCM dresser, it was in desperate need of help, bought for $20 at a yard sale, sold for $210. And she has a note here that her picture isn't the greatest. She broke her leg, so staging was difficult. But don't worry about that. The picture is amazing, and the dresser is beautiful. I am at the Tattered Antique, located inside McMinnville Antiques Mall in downtown McMinnville, Oregon, and I have the link to her Facebook page. And, you know, I love MCM, and sometimes just you can't salvage them, so they have to, the only way to save them is to paint them. And this turned out incredible. So nice job there. Next up in Madison, Georgia at the Madison Flea Market. And I love the name of their store, the Vintage Mutt. This orange retro vinyl ottoman purchased at an estate sale for $20 and sold for $80. That's pretty cool. So, I mean, you know, you really have to know, like, $20, that's kind of paying up for me at an estate sale. But when you see something and you know it's going to sell for more, you just have to grab it. So, the Vintage Mutt on Facebook is her page. So I will link that in the description below. Next up is Port Orchard, Washington at New to You. This pink chair bought for $5 at a Polish Lodge rummage sale. And it sold for $200. A vendor booth at New to You in Port Orchard, Washington. Here today, gone tomorrow. And don't we know that is the truth? And we would like for more things to be gone tomorrow as we're trying to increase our booth sales. Okay, next up is Gainesville, Georgia, out of the Cedar Chest. And on Facebook and Instagram is Jay Bowen and Company. Now, before I show you the picture, I want to tell you to definitely go follow her Facebook page and Instagram pages. She does an amazing job and is kind of an example of what we should all be doing to build our Facebook pages. So she puts a ton of work into it, and it has really shown. So just a side note there, go follow Jay Bowen and Company and take a look at what she found. Sold this for $50 today. Found in a trash pile south of Broad, Charleston, South Carolina. It is not in working condition. And her booth name, Facebook, and Instagram is Jay Bowen and Company. Look how beautiful she is. Just go follow her. She does a great mix of incorporating personal, funny memes, and then her booth, items from her booth. So go give her a follow. Go give everyone a follow. Okay, Dahlonega, Georgia. Gold City Antique Gallery in the Rabbit Run Farm Studio. She sold this French country Majolica style sheep. I did look it up and how to pronounce that, and it's either Majolica or Majolica. So I'm going Majolica. Okay, this French country Majolica style sheep sold for $70. Received as a gift in the early 90s, selling some of my old collection as we've downsized to an 1860s farm cottage. I would love to see that in real life. Sold at the Gold City Antique Gallery, and her handle is Rabbit Run Farm Studio. So that is a beautiful, nice little profit. And if you're willing, like I said, if you're willing and ready to get rid of some items, it is a good time to go through your personal stash and just put in your booth. See what you can sell items for. Okay, next up is in Townsend, Maine, home of the Cooperage, this kitchen cabinet. Purchased this kitchen cabinet at an estate sale in North Central Massachusetts for $50. Sold it today for, get this, $475. I'm co-owner of Home at the Cooperage, 1 South Street, Townsend, Maine. So go check them out, and I will link any Facebook or social media links that they have in the description below. But that is an amazing profit. And as a co-owner, you probably have an incredible eye for antiques that are going to sell a lot, and we are looking forward to learning a lot from you. Next up in Andalusia, Alabama at the Emporium, this vintage desk. Bought the desk at a local thrift store for $50 and sold for $165 at the Emporium in Andalusia, Alabama. So that is pretty sweet. I would take that profit every day. And last, I just want to share some of my items that I sold for over $50 last month. So first of all, this dresser, I bought it on Facebook Marketplace for $60. It was like kind of a gray, and it was in terrible condition. I had to do some like wood glue and fix the shell, fix the drawers. Couldn't decide on the paint color. I finally did the black with the distress, and it sold for $180. This Yadro I bought for $30 and sold for $65. May was a slow month, so I had posted that on Facebook Marketplace, and somebody sent me the offer, and I took it. So, you know, sometimes you have to make deals to make rent. This writing desk I bought for $15 and repainted it, sold it for $65. And last of all, these bamboo chairs, they're kind of a steel, had a feeling of steel to them. Pretty sure they were vintage. Not sure if they were lacquered rattan. That's what I put in the description on Facebook Marketplace. And I said, I'm not sure if they are lacquered rattan, but they feel like it. Anyways, I bought them for $10 each at Goodwill, and they sold for $75. So those are all the items I have today that sold for over $50 in Vintage Booths around the country. One thing I am working on, wouldn't it be so cool if you're going on a road trip and just easily be able to pick out shops that you want to stop at. That's something I'm working on my website. So be sure to join our group, because I am going to pull information from group members to add to my map on my website, which is Vintage Booth Pro. It's going to take a little while to get it together, but it's something that I've wanted to do for a long time, and it's finally in the process of being created. So really looking forward to that. And thanks so much for watching, and I appreciate you guys. So I'll see you in the next video.